share. We are going to jump into these 3 steps for success. This is not just coming from me. This is coming from my study of many, many successful people. Also from your 7 steps for results, from your clarity tool, from the 4 disciplines of execution. All of these have in common these 3 main themes to get somewhere. And the first one is, of course, deciding. You've heard that with your clarity tool, with your spotlight tool, with your 7 steps for results. It's deciding what it is that you want. What is the goal? What is the winning part? What is the area, the achievement that you have reached success? A lot of people are sadly chasing success without having a clear picture for themselves for what success actually is. How can you win the game if you don't know what the end goal is? So in the game of life, in the game of your achievement, in the game of your ambition, what does success look like? Let's decide that. Let's decide what this milestone is or what this end goal is and be specific about it. And then, of course, the second stage is to act. And acting not necessarily in the sense that, you just do anything, but this is well-informed strategic action. Being able to, rely on the people who have been successful, no matter what it is that we're trying to accomplish. Somebody has gone before us to successfully accomplish some aspect of that thing. They might not have done it in our field. They might not have done it with, in our environment or in our climate or with our particular niche, but there are people who have seen some level of success that is relatable to what it is that you're doing. And we can tune into those folks and figure out, what did they know? What did they learn? And how did they go about doing this thing that I want to do as well? So it's not just taking any old action and, I want to be successful, so I'm going to drink a whole bunch of water. Maybe, you know what I mean? But being strategic about that and relying on the experts that are already out there. The beautiful part about being a part of this group is that we are all an expert in something. We're bringing that expertise to a community that's able to thrive and work together and pour into and out of each other. So getting an idea of what actions you need to take and then taking those actions, but making sure that they're well-informed actions, which leads us to the evaluation part as well. We need to be able, and all successful people, especially in the 4DX model, 4 disciplines of execution, they talk about the need to first be clear about what your wildly important goals are. Make sure that you're acting on the lead measures, which is you're doing something that leads to the end result, and that you're able to come back weekly, bi-weekly, monthly to evaluate your progress on that. And to really ask yourself the question of, am I making progress? Is this getting me to where I need to go? Or is this not serving me? An example that I like to see is how somebody can decide that they want to see the sunset. They can act and start running east. But we know the sun rises in the east and it sets in the west. So it doesn't matter how hard you run. You could be super dedicated, passionate, fervent, crying, sweating, let your limbs fall off, and you're still running. But if you're going east looking for a sunset, it's not gonna happen. You're just gonna be running forever. So being able to evaluate and have that sensory acuity to know whether or not you're getting closer is uberly important. Decide, act, and evaluate. Lather, rinse, and repeat. Decide, act, and evaluate. Decide, act, and evaluate. What's the new decision? What's the new thing that you need to be pursuing now? Now that you evaluate it and you realize, okay, yeah, I still want to pursue this sunset, but now I have to act in a different way. I have to go a different direction. How can we make it a habit to be successful, to decide, to act, and to evaluate, and then to do those things over and over again? A lot of successful people, this is all that they do. All that they do is these kinds of videos. And for them, they decided that they want to help people. They decided they want to connect with people, but their action is to do things like this. And then they have to evaluate with the people that they're teaching. Hey, is this working? Is this hitting home? Is this making sense? So decide, act, and evaluate. That is what success looks like across the board for most successful people that weren't gifted their success. They earned it. And usually it's because they made a decision, they took action on that decision, and then they were able to figure out where they were falling short and what they needed to change. Does that is that resonating with y'all? How are y'all feeling about that? Are there any additions, anything that I could be missing?
Nope.
Right on. Okay. We're going to continue to the income streams. Money, money, money. I got money, money, money. Yes, Lord. Money now. Got the money. Hey, this is what I love about this is, you know, we talk about income streams, and so many of us only have one or two. And sometimes those one or two are actually liabilities, depending on how you look at it. You know, so let's get into it. I'm just going to jump right into it. They say 7 to 10 income streams, and there's a whole list of what those income streams can be. We're going to talk about some examples of income streams and some resources that could help you set those income streams up. So the three that I like to start off with, this is going from levels of complexity to simplicity. So book, course, and speaking, these are all separate income streams that alone could be lucrative, but together, uberly lucrative. And there are so many examples of people who wrote a book, but they used their book sort of like a business card. And that business card hipped people to, it hipped the whippersnappers to their course. So they have a course. So the book leads to the course leads to speaking engagements where people are saying, I want the person who taught this course and wrote this book to come in and teach my group something. Have y'all seen this kind of trajectory? Have y'all seen this kind of setup before?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with the housing market, you got a lot of people who want you to come to these sessions and get into the business of flipping houses and this and that, and want you to join their teams and find out it's a bunch of books you need to buy and buy into the companies. And yeah, we see those.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So this is a what I like about this trajectory is that there are ways for you to write your book in a really, really simple way. And, you know, you start off with brainstorming what your topic is, brainstorming on your topic, all of the things that are coming to mind, similar to step 3 in the 7 steps of results, where you brainstorm all the little and big things. Here in writing a book, you brainstorm all of the concepts and ideas that are coming to mind around the subject of your book. And then you group that into themes. You group those themes into chapters, and then you further outline each individual chapter with 15 minutes of brainstorming for each chapter. And now you have a completed online outline that you can use to voice record your book. You record yourself talking through your outline. And from that, you can get it transcribed. You get it transcribed, get it edited and published in a book, and you launch it. And the beautiful part about the book that you guys have access to, it's called Published by Chandler Bolt. In this book, you learn a process for becoming a bestseller in your category. And the way you do that is by recruiting people on Amazon to share your book and to review their favorite part of it, so that they don't feel like they have to read the whole thing. And what ends up happening is that just with that kind of agreement, you end up becoming one of the best sellers in your category. So the way it works is you bring people along the journey with you. So when you decide to write your book, you make a post. When you got your mind map done, you make a post. When you got your manuscript done, you make a post. And then when you got your covers done, you make a post. And the idea is that people all around are like, wow, I want to do that too. And they either contact Jasmine Zapata, or they just, you know, contact us, or they just review the steps and go through them themselves. But writing a book is something that can get you a lot of credibility. And if you tie that to a course, now people have an even better reason to buy your course. It's not just that they think they might learn what it is that they're trying to learn by buying this online course, but you partnered with, you know, um, they know that they're going to learn, but they're also looking at your expertise and that you're standing out as a bestseller. The way Amazon's algorithms work, of course, I'm no expert, but if in a short period of time, a set number of people say that they really liked the book, it becomes a bestseller in that category. It shows high demand in that category. So if your book leads to a course, people have already gotten warmed up. They already know that you know what you're talking about. And now they're trying to do, you can take that course from course to speaking. And with speaking, you can literally use your book and your courses as business cards and get people to pay you to come through and do a speaking engagement. And then depending on what your business model is for this, you can have a scholarship model where instead of charging end users to go through your course, you can charge industry leaders to go through your course. And that way they end up, what am I trying to say here? What am I trying to say? You can have industry leaders become like a conduit to what it is that you're trying to reach with the end consumer. So you talk to industry leaders and you say, hey, here's my book. You should check it out. Sending you a free copy. Just pay for the shipping. By the way, I've got this course that's part of the book, and the book is asking people, it's giving people a discount on the course. And I'd love to come to your group and talk about this. So there are several courses on how to produce books, how to produce courses, how to produce speaking engagements, and we can connect you all to that information. But before we do that, I just want to ask if you have any thoughts or questions around books, courses, and speaking. Has anyone here thought about writing a book? Have you thought about writing a book or doing some public speaking or doing an online course?
I thought about writing a book.
Yeah.
Yeah, thought about writing a book. I now have the downtime to do so, but just don't have the time.
Right. I feel that. Writing a book can be really, really challenging. I've written a few, and I think what makes it the most challenging is realizing that we have this 200-300 page document to produce. And it's just so big. But what I found is that there's really power in chunking, where you're able to, break down your production of that book into smaller bite sizes. And you know that you can take those smaller steps every single day. So for me, for a while, it was getting through some of these milestones of creating the course. It's not edited yet, doing my outlines, brainstorms, all of that stuff, scheduling that, and knowing that when the timer goes off, I got to sit down and do that, and committing to it. Those are some of the things that have helped me to really land on, some success when it comes to authoring and producing courses and speaking. Okay, real estate. It's the only thing they're not making more of: land. Land is never going to go out of style. Land is never, it could disappear depending on how bad things are, but we'll always need the land. And for that reason, I think that real estate is a great investment. However, we can do group purchases as Black entrepreneurs. We can qualify for grants that we wouldn't qualify for individually. We can do fix and flips. We can do rents. These are all viable ways for us to generate an income through real estate. But it's kind of complicated. We have to buy, we got to sell, we got to go in and inspect and, keep up with the payments. An easier way is through crowd investing. There are two companies. One is called Fundrise and one is called Diversify Fund. And what these companies do is they allow you to contribute $500, $50 to a major venture capital firm and to see some returns on that investment. So these real estate investment firms, they pull money together and then invest in real estate. Well, here you have an opportunity to be one of those investors on the back end and receive updated information about what's taking your investment so long. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense. Thank
Yeah,
you so much for that tip, Eric. For
Fundrise
somebody
and
who's been trying to
diversify.
jump into the real estate business, you just gave me a great idea.
Word, word. I see Sharon's got the thumbs up. Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, it's real estate, and this is simplifying it. So I'm looking at some real estate deals, and it can get complicated. I mean, it's not, depending on your experience in the game, it might be less complicated, but there are some avenues here that will allow you to just put some money up. And there are a couple of people that I know who are connected to this, and they are earning a return on their investment. I think Diversify Fund did 18% last year on an annual basis. So 18%, the market, the stock market has improved, has grown 12%, increased 12%, 10, between 10 and 12% per year since its inception. No matter how deep the downturn was, the comeback always averaged out to 12% on average per year. So here, with Diversify Fund, they've done, well beyond that in the last year. Of course, past performance is not a guarantee of future performance, but just to give you an idea of the kinds of returns that they're seeing there. And the same thing with Fundrise. You put money up, you can put up, I don't remember what the minimum is, but somewhere between $50 to $500 to start. And you can also, you can put up way more than that. And then you get a percentage return based on the value of your contribution related to the account, the investment size. So they're handling all the headaches of finding the right borrowers and finding the right investments and all of that stuff. All you have to worry about is making sure that your deposit is there, and if you want to do your own due diligence, take a look at it. So that is crowd investing. There's Fundrise, there's Diversify Fund, and these are just two of the types that are out there. But I can stand on Fundrise, and I just happen to have just learned about Diversify Fund. So these are legitimate companies that are doing it, and you can make a return. But again, I can't guarantee that, and neither can they. So these are getting gradually easier, but the thing that I really wanted to come up to is the Movement Fund. The Movement Fund. The revolution. The Movement Fund. This is straight up changing the whole game. The whole game. And I'm gonna jump into, actually, let me jump into another screen here. Is this it? This is it. There we go. Okay. We are going to go into the Movement Fund. Is this it? Oh, I think this is a little too. Okay, there we go. Woo! The Movement Fund. Are y'all ready for this? I don't even know if y'all ready for this. What we about to talk about?
We're ready.
We ready? The Movement Fund, changing the game. So, what is the Movement Fund? The idea is to show you how to dramatically increase your reach and impact without hiring more staff or starting something new. And the Movement Fund is an example of this. But before we go in, I want to tell you about Simone. Now, for the purposes of this presentation, this woman's name is Simone. She is a single mother with 3 kids. She's an activist. She, is housing insecure herself, but she still wants to support other people in maintaining their housing. So she helps them apply for resources. She helps them apply for food share. She helps cook food. She helps teach people how to cook healthy food. She's not a part of a big major institution or a big nonprofit. She just cares. This is something she does for free out of the goodness of her heart. And she needs some money to overcome some of the expenses that are coming up, even if it's just to pay her own rent. Welcome to Simone. Simone's challenge is that there's a lack of access and availability of resources. What's the lack of access? Well, she's not traditionally organized. She's not a regular organization. And we experienced this in our early days of organizing the Young, Gifted, and Black Coalition. Here's a picture of one of our protests from 2014. And we would mobilize thousands of people, thousands of people. We'd get them to come out. We would, it was for real. We were for real. We would protest, we'd march in the streets, we'd stop traffic, we did teach-ins, die-ins, advocacy work, marching into the state capitol, talking about policies, jails, all of this stuff. And we'd get thousands of high fives and hand claps and thank yous. But when it came to actually put dollars up, people weren't there. And, some of them, the organizations, the foundations, they couldn't support protests. They couldn't support advocacy work. That's just not how the nonprofit world works. When it comes to donating, if everybody who went to our protests would have just given us $1 a month, just $1 a month, $12 a year, 12, we would have had enough money to hire several full-time staff to, pay for all of our materials for teaching and for coaching and for protests. But alas, we did not get that. And part of that is that we just weren't traditionally organized as a nonprofit, as a 501c3. We weren't organized as an official organization. We were just passionate community people who decided they were going to take it upon themselves to do something about injustices that were happening. And we are no different in this case than so many of the Sonias and Black Lives Matter activists and just advocacy folks and community leaders across the nation who are struggling to receive funding right now because they're just not traditionally organized. They don't know about the grants. And even if they did know about the grants, they're not structured in a way to take advantage of them. That is YGB. That is Sonia. And we need to change that. But deeper than that is not just the availability, the access of resources, but it's also the availability of funds. And here we have a mom and pop shop, a coffee shop, that's not too different from Gotham Bagels, who has been one of the earlier enthusiasts for the Movement Fund. And the issue here is that this business is just trying to stay afloat. They hire employees, they have equipment, and they're getting customers, but they don't have a budget to pay for social good work. They can't pay for a protest. They don't have the money to pay for this. What they do have is some customers that come through their business every single day, but they don't have money to pay for a protest. If they did, we could write a grant to them. We could ask them for some sponsorship dollars, but they're a small business. They just don't have it. However, if one of their machines broke, if their stove broke, if their lights got cut off, if this lamp here broke, if somebody quit, you better believe they would hire somebody. You better believe they would find a new coffee maker, that they would, pay for a new stove. Whatever the thing is that they needed to figure out, they would figure that out because it's making them money. It directly contributes to their ability to continue to stay open. It generates a profit. And too often, social good work, saving the world, healing the world, making the world a better place, it is conflated with nonprofit work. So we look at nonprofit work and social good work as something that you're not supposed to make money from. And in fact, if you make money from making the world a better place, then shame on you. That's what we tell people. But we have no problem with major polluters and with, scam artists and bankers and Wall Street folks and, insurance folks and used car salesmen, not to pick on the used car salesman, but generally speaking, there's this stigma around what they do for a living, but we're totally okay with them making money while doing it. We have no problem with the CEO and the owners of Coca-Cola and Pepsi. We just don't. I mean, we don't have a problem with them making as much money. We expect them to make as much money as they're making. But we also know that there's nothing healthy about their products. There's nothing good for the planet about their products. It's plastic and glass and aluminum cans that end up in landfills and maybe in a recycling bin. But before that, it was filled with sugar water. There's nothing beneficial to our environment or to our livelihoods about Coca-Cola and Pepsi. But we don't balk at them making money from that. But when somebody wants to earn money from saving the world, we have a problem with that. And that mentality has to change. We have to change how we are approaching this. We know that there's no shortage of money for venture capitalists. There's no shortage of money for that hip startup that we know is going to make $1 billion. There's no shortage of funding for the Facebooks of the world, or for the new medical devices of the world, or for the Post-it companies of the world, for the Apples of the world. We clamor around each other to figure out how to throw money at these because we know that they're going to generate money. But when it comes to nonprofit work, when it comes to saving the world, all of a sudden that changes. We know that capitalism and the for-profit world is part of the reason why we have some of the problems that we have in our world. We know that capitalism leads to oppression. We know this. We know that the form of capitalism that we support today contributes to oppression. But still, we ask those capitalists for just a tiny percentage of their for-profit dollars to help us solve some of the problems that they're causing. It's backwards. It's counterintuitive. We can't ask. If we want to see more funds and resources in the same way that we see more startups, then we have to be able to generate income. We have to be able to get those for-profit venture capital injections. Imagine if we got the same kind of money invested in our social good work as Facebook got, or as Google got, or as, whatever startup that you can find that got millions and billions of dollars. What if we got that same kind of money for social good, for changing and saving the world? Wouldn't that be something? So Movement Fund is shifting the paradigm. We're changing that. And the way that we're doing that is through what we call we're using referral marketing to build a pool of resources that we use to make grants that support meeting needs, building awareness, and advocacy and action. These grants are focusing on the grassroots folks. They're focusing on the YGBs. They're focusing on the Sonias, the people that are not traditionally organized to be able to compete in the traditional funding world that requires a 501c3, that requires a board of directors, that requires a strategic plan and relationships and collaborators. No, we want to put money into Sonia's hands. We want to put money into the Black mother's hands who she just wants to pay her rent. And we want to put money in the hands of the YGBs who want to help those Black mothers pay their rent. These are the grassroots folks, the people that aren't traditionally funded, traditionally organized. And as we raise money to support them, we're also generating revenue for our partners. And this is how it works. Woo! Getting into real life example here. So here's an example. Somehow, whether they see a video like this, or they see it on social media, or they hear about it from an entrepreneur like you, somebody learns about the Movement Fund. And they like the idea of supporting grassroots social good. They're like, yeah, we need to support the YGBs and the Sonias. We need this. We need to be in charge of our own money instead of begging the state and the government to jump through all of these hoops. So here's a live example where we're building that. Somebody sees the Movement Fund and they're like, yes, I want to support grassroots social good. And I want to get out of the need to, appeal to the Coca-Cola Foundation, or appeal to the Koch brothers, or appeal to, the Rockefeller Foundation, or, you name it, whatever big foundation. They may have the money to support grassroots social good, but usually they don't. And sometimes when they do, it comes with all of these stipulations that ends up not getting us to the solution. We need to have our money be accessible to us, to be low barrier, similar to the funds that you all got, some of you got from Mabi, where you meet the qualifications, the money goes out the door. So someone learns about the Movement Fund and they say, I want to support this. I'm going to donate $50 a month so that Sonia can get what she needs. Movement Fund sends them an email and says, hey, thank you. We really appreciate this. By the way, the only way we're able to raise so much money to make grants is because entrepreneurs like you and donors like you are helping us to spread the word. Please sign up for your own link so that you can share, and we'll reward you for your sharing. And they say, absolutely. I'd love to tell more people about this organization that I'm supporting, because this organization is supporting grassroots folks, the folks who get missed all the time by the funding world. So with their special link, they share it to their email list. They share it to their social media. They share it at work and to their customers. And then somebody along that path finds their link, whether they respond to an email or social media or it's a customer, and that person decides to make a donation to the Movement Fund through that entrepreneur's link. And then Movement Fund says thank you by giving them 18% of that donation. If this person signed up for a monthly donation, it could be $5, it could be $10, it could be $100. You as an entrepreneur receive that 18% commission every single month. We are generating, this is generating an income by raising money to support more social good. But what this does is so magical. So the same thing for that person. Let's say you referred somebody and they made a contribution, you get 18% per month. But when that person that you referred decides to refer somebody else, you get a small percentage of that contribution too. Yes, this is multi-level marketing. No, it's not a pyramid scheme. It's not a Ponzi scheme, because you don't have to contribute in order to receive funds. You don't have to, and you can contribute without receiving any funds. You can choose to say, listen, I just want to contribute. I don't want the 18%. I don't want the 2%. Just keep it and give it to social good. Or you can be like Gotham Bagels and say, listen, we need a new boiler and we need to hire 5 more employees, and I want to support social good, but I can't. This is going to be my avenue to not only support social good work, grassroots social good work, but also to hire this person that I need to hire to pad my bottom line so that I can stay open as a business. So what is it that we're raising money for? The 3 key areas of meeting needs, building awareness, and advocacy and action. So meeting needs is you paying your rent as an individual. You can write to the Movement Fund to get that money to pay your rent, or you can write a grant to establish a program that helps people pay their rents. So meeting needs, the same thing with food. You can file a grant to get your own groceries or to set up a program that helps people pay their groceries. Whatever encompasses meeting needs, an individual can apply for that, or a traditionally organized organization, or anywhere in between. But we want to prioritize the people who are not able to access the traditional funds. Same thing with meeting need or building awareness. It's the teach-ins, the freedom schools, the awareness building, the campaigns, awareness campaigns, the door knocking, all of those things. We should be able to fund those. And we hope that between meeting needs and building awareness, we position our groups to advocate and act. This could be a direct action, or this could be, some kind of advocacy action where we're trying to motivate the state or the legislature or, the court or the city, local government to do a thing, So, but it can also be a protest, and you would be super hard pressed to find any foundation that is writing checks to support advocacy work. As a nonprofit, you explicitly have to not advocate, and it can't be political. So tax deductible donations, you know, a lot of foundations, they get their money because they're tax deductible, and because of that, they can't advocate. So as much as they may agree and believe in a policy, they can't do anything about that. We need to change that. You know, as much as they may agree that a racist cop who shoots an unarmed Black person should be fired, they can't advocate for that because it's political. They can't get political. And they can't do a direct action. They can't write a check so that we can go on block traffic because that's quote unquote illegal activity. It's a protest. Movement Fund can, because Movement Fund is not traditionally organized as a nonprofit. Now, granted, we can still receive nonprofit donations and we can make them tax deductible because of a nonprofit arm. And then those funds just can't be split. But we can also pay for a protest, which is something that you won't find it out there. It's not out there. So, but this is what we need. This is why people were high-fiving us in our protests for YGB. This is why people came out in the thousands to stand against this new jail, or, you know, to get justice for Tony Robinson, the 19-year-old Black kid that got killed by Matt Kinney, unarmed, you know. So advocacy work, building awareness and meeting needs. Those are the three areas. And it's pretty broad, but it's broad for a reason, so that we can connect to folks and connect to anybody's movement. So here are some examples of some entrepreneurs that we've supported. Mabi has been able to help, you know, in partnership with the Movement Fund, has been able to support over 350 Black entrepreneurs. Some of them have opened boutiques in the mall that are still open today as a result of some of their work, their funding that they got. You know, they're not getting no customers right now because it's closed, but they're still open. Aerostar Photography, Alicia needed a new computer. She wasn't able to process her clients' photos. She needed a new computer. She needed some new lenses. She got a $2,500 grant to do that. No strings attached, super low barrier, and she's in business still today. Same thing with IH Concepts. They needed a G7 certification. I still don't know what G7 means, but it sounds important, and they needed it, and they got it due to a low barrier grant. They were not a nonprofit, but they got that money. Very, very simple. Same thing with YGB, 74 actions to stand in front of a jail, to stop the jail, justice for Tony, community control over the police, 60 children and families with roofs over their head, and part of our eviction prevention platform, 96 sessions, it's more than that now, but to build awareness and analysis around issues of racial equity and social justice. And these were made possible in part because of our partnership with the Movement Fund. Shalisha Johnson said, you know, I didn't know what was gonna happen, and this helped me. A single Black mother who was facing eviction said this was, you know, God sent this to her. This was a message from God that everything's gonna be all right. These are the kinds of testimonials and stories and the miracle moments that we want to build in our community, and we can do that through the Movement Fund. So let's talk about some math. Let's talk about some numbers. I want to show you the money. So to do that, I'm going to give you some math here. Some math. And I mean, feel free to write this down or just, you know, pay attention. But here's what we're doing. With the numbers that I'm getting ready to show you are based on 11 partners. This could be 11 marketing representatives that we pay to make calls all day to businesses. This could be 11 businesses like your own, and partners who are seeing customers like Gotham Bagels, or, you know, like Eat Street or Uber Eats, and they are asking their customers to donate. But whether it's our marketing representatives in-house, or it's you as an entrepreneur, or it's big partners like Uber Eats or Eat Street, the numbers are based on 11 partners asking 50 to 100 people to donate to the Movement Fund, and that 15 of those people say yes to an average of $5 a month. So some of them might do 10, some of them might do 1, but the average comes out to $5 a month for across 15 new donors every single day. So 5 days a week, we have each partner getting 15 yeses, and each of those yeses are agreeing to pay at least $5 a month. Does that make sense to y'all? Do those numbers make sense? That scenario? I want to hear from you before I move on. Does that make sense? 11 partners, cool. Thanks for the thumbs up, Sharon. Does that make sense, Valencia? We got 11 partners making 15 new referrals per day, and each of them are bringing in $5 a month, each of those referrals.
That makes sense.
Okay, cool. All right. With these numbers, after 6 months, after literally just 6 months, each of those 11 partners individually, each of the 11 partners is bringing in between $1,000 and $2,000 a month, almost $2,000 a month after 6 months. That means they could stop making calls, they could stop soliciting, and they could just, go do something else. And as long as those monthly donors that they got to say yes are still making their donations, they're still getting that money every single month, $1,600 coming in after 6 months of this kind of consistency, of the consistency that I showed you before. Each one of those partners getting 15 yeses at $5 a month. From their commission that they earn from that, after 6 months of that, 4 days, 5 days a week, they're earning almost $2,000 a month. That's beautiful. What's even more beautiful is that the Movement Fund, with that same consistency, with 11 partners doing that, is bringing in almost $100,000 a month, y'all. $99,000 a month. That means that we could make $99,000 in grants happen every single month to the Sonias, not to the big United Ways, not to the big Boys and Girls Club. Not that we don't like what they do, we love what they do, but we're talking about to the Sonias, to the Valencias, to the Shantays and the Sharons. These are, imagine that money coming every single month. The grants the difference that this community could see. That's after 6 months. After a year, between $3,000 and $4,000 a month. That's what each individual partner, each individual entrepreneur, each individual marketing rep is earning from their 50 to 100 calls a day, getting 15 yeses. Each of those 15 yeses is paying $5 a month into the Movement Fund consistently. With those kind of numbers, after a year, each entrepreneur is bringing in an extra $3,200 a month, $3,000 to $4,000 a month. And that's like clockwork. They could stop working. They could stop doing calls. They could stop everything. And as long as those donors that they got are still saying yes, they're still making their donations, that money's going to continue to come in automatically. So that's the individual income for each of the 11 partners. But for the Movement Fund, almost $200,000 a month. That's a whole organization. That means that we could completely fund and hire a whole new organization with staff, with a building, with office space and per diems, and completely mess it up, make all the mistakes, and be right back ready to do the same thing the next month. When have we ever had that kind of opportunity to fail? When have we ever had that kind of safety net as a community? We just don't have it. But imagine, with this kind of money, we could make so many grants happen every single month. That kind of money coming into our community is priceless. The impacts are priceless. And what we're saying to the companies who we would normally ask for money, instead of us asking Gotham Bagels for $5,000, instead of us asking MG&E or the electric company or the gas company for $5,000 for this one time, instead of us begging and hoping that we're in their good graces and hoping that they understand our need as a community, and hoping that they agree with our process and our approach to solving that need. Instead of us asking for that money, we can come to them and say, hey, listen, I don't want you to pay $5,000 one time. I want you to earn $25,000 with me. And you can use that money to pay other people who don't have this avenue. But I want to make some money with MG&E. I want to make some money with CUNA Mutual Group and American Family and Eat Street and Uber Eats and Gotham Bagels and your businesses as well. Instead of us asking you for a membership fee or for a sponsorship. No, I want to make money with you. And in that same breath, raise money to support grassroots social good work. So you can make your own grants if you want to, or you can just pad your bottom line and stay open. Or you can give that money right back to the movement fund. It's totally up to you. But either way, I want to trade a one-time cost for a consistent residual benefit that we can rely on, that we can plan on. And with that kind of consistency, we'll be able to make over 100 grants a month, per month with this kind of consistency. So where we're at right now is we're striving to get to that level so that we can write Sonia a check with no strings attached, so that we can say, you've been doing good, you applied, here you go, enjoy it, pay your rent, buy some shoes for your kids, whatever you got to do, but keep doing what you're doing. That's what we want to be able to do. We want Sonia to be able to say, I have an idea to solve this problem, and we have the money right now to just be able to get that to her. That is what we need to be able to do. And that's what Sonia deserves. That's what our community deserves. So where we're at right now, we're currently in the process of raising $115,000, and we are making some huge dents in that so that we can hire those 11 partners. And we're already in the process of hiring them. But those 11 partners are going to make that 100 calls a day, and they're going to get our 15 yeses at $5 a month each, and consistently build that revenue for the movement fund. But we're not just stopping there. I'm making calls, and I'm talking to companies like Eat Street and UW Health and MG&E and CUNA Mutual Group, so that we can have larger level partners as well. So between our call reps and our high level partners, we are going to get to this $99,000 a month, even if it takes us a whole year. We're going to get there because people are earning, and we're attacking it from both sides. The second way that people can get involved is just to join. It doesn't cost any money to join, but just off GP. If you're going to be asking people for $5 a month, if you're going to be asking your customers for $5 a month, you might as well be paying that too, so that you can stand on it with integrity and say, listen, yeah, I'm paying $5 a month to the movement fund because I believe in what it has to offer, and that is why I'm asking you for $5 a month as well. If we can consistently do that, we will get to this point of earning $200,000 a month to be able to pour into social good work. But last but certainly not least, it's just sharing it. You don't have to be paying $5 a month to share it. You can sign up for free, get your special link, and add this to your thank you notes for your customers. When you get a customer, you can say, hey, thank you. By the way, you should support the movement fund and contribute to social good work, grassroots social good work. Getting 15 new supporters donating at $5 a month, that's our milestone. And if we can do that, we can accomplish anything. So that is the movement fund. I will stop there just to see if you have any questions. How are you feeling about this? I laid a whole bunch on you, but that's where we're at. And after this, we'll talk about our follow-up and follow-through work. But I wanted to pause here just to see, what are your thoughts on the movement fund? Does this make sense? Do you see yourself being able to make an impact and generate revenue from this and make a difference in the community? Where are you at with this?
I was going to say, me, myself, I would like to donate every month. because I like the fact that it'll help others.
Right on, right on.
I would like to help that way, and maybe, do it when we get back to events and being able to be out in the public doing what I do. You know, I could definitely ask people to donate because people always are willing to donate to good causes, and this is a very good cause, Eric.
Right on. I really
So,
appreciate
yeah.
it. It means so much. And really, it's relevant to right now. People aren't trying to buy Rolex watches right now. People are not trying to, purchase timeshare right now, or buy new cars. Right now, people are focused on how do we survive and how do we help other people survive. And that is the Movement Fund. We are not only making low barrier grants for emergency relief, but we're also providing an avenue for people who are without an income stream to make money right now without jeopardizing their business, without distracting from their business. This is an add-on. This is something that gives them greater credibility in the eyes of their customers, to be able to give their customers the opportunity to support social good and make an income at the same time. It's really, really beautiful. So
Aaron,
thank you.
It would be nice to be a little bit easier to get funding. I think there's a lot of hoops you have to jump through to get monies from United Way and the other organizations. So hopefully this would be easier, make it a lot easier for people to give, knowing that, if that's the case.
Yeah, right on. You're totally right. Right now at movementfund.com, the application is really, really simple. It's kind of long because we want to make sure that we're targeting the people who are not getting as much funding, the smaller operations, the people who get missed, the Simones, the Sharons. But the application is out there. We're not promoting the application right now. People can still apply, but right now we're focusing on building that consistent monthly revenue so that we can make consistent grants that people can rely on. If you see this as an income stream and as a way for you to make a difference, let's get you set up with your special link. And you can do that by going to movementfund.com and clicking on join. And I'm going to do that actually. I'm going to go to, let's see if I can, it'll take me there. You can go to movementfund.com. Is it working? Do y'all see the Movement Fund website showing up there? Looks like it's working. Okay, yeah. Okay. So you can go to movementfund.com, and up here in the upper right, sorry about that, I'm missing a call. Up here in the upper right, you can click join now and become a partner. Either way, it's going to take you to the same page. And you can click join today. It kind of explains what it is. It breaks down some of the percentages and has that same infographic that I talked to you about. Breaks down the numbers, but you can click on join the movement. And this gives you signing up here. You put your information in here, sign up for your special link, your email, your name, and your password. That's it. That gives you your special link. And then from there, you can copy your link. And I'm just going to do a test run real quick. Madison Alliance, this is us. Me signing up here. Make up a password real quick. Agree to the terms. Agree to receive email notifications. I'm not a robot. This is just to make sure we don't have robots trying to break our system. And then we sign up. And just like that, right here, right at the bottom, this is our link. When we can share this referral link, I'm gonna copy this. And I'm gonna go to social media. Share on social media. And you don't see it popping up. I'm gonna go here on Facebook. Going on social media. I'm gonna share this to the Mobby page since this is Mobby's special link. So I don't know why it's taking so long to load up, but I really want y'all to be able to get an example of this. Here we go. Shortcuts to Mobi. And all I'm gonna do is make a simple post here that just asks people to support grassroots social good. If it will ever load up, my goodness. This day and age, we're like so impatient, and I have it. So all I'm saying is support social good. I'm gonna support emergency relief and earn while you do it. Join the movement. Paste the link. Shows up right there. Y'all see that?
Yep.
Just that simple. I shared my special link on the web, and that is where it's at. That's what we do. So that is the Movement Fund. That is how we do it. And so here is the follow-up and follow-through. Should your challenge, should you accept it, is to contact 15 potential supporters. Get your special link first. And secure at least one contribution of $5 a month. Now, this is not just for the Movement Fund. This is for you as well. Your special link. There we go. I just want to present this so that it shows up in the thing. Does that work? Okay, yeah, that works. So step one is to sign up for your special link. We just went over how to do that. Contact 15 potential supporters this week and secure at least one, get at least one of them to say yes to donating $5 a month. If you can do that in this next week, you have everything that it takes to be one of the entrepreneurs that's not only generating over $3,000 a month for you and your family and your business, but also who's helping to bring in over $200,000 a month for the Movement Fund. So join the movement at movementfund.com. Uh-oh, what's happening here? Oh, here we go. Yep, okay. So that's it. That's all, folks. What are your questions? Any comments or concerns? Oh, next week, Wednesday, in the evening time, you will see it on the Movement Fund website. You will get an email about it. But next week, Wednesday, we are going to be doing an overview, a similar overview for the Movement Fund. So I'm going to be breaking down the Movement Fund in the same way that I broke down the Movement Fund for you all today. So if you want, you can tell people about the Movement Fund. You will get an email after this session that breaks down the Movement Fund. It has a video. It has an overview. It has the website. You'll also get in that same email a link to donate $5 a month because, we gotta, I gotta ask, that's part of the Movement Fund. And if you're gonna be asking people to donate $5 a month, it makes sense for you to have at least done that. So in this email, you're gonna get a link to an overview that explains the Movement Fund in writing, a link to a video, my interview for Channel 3 on the Movement Fund. You're also going to get a link to donate $5 a month or whatever you choose, whatever's comfortable for you. And then you're going to also get a link for you to set up your monthly contribution, or I'm sorry, to set up your special link so that you can refer other people to the Movement Fund and start to earn your 20%, your 18%. And if for whatever reason, you know, you want to just get some refreshers, or you know, you don't really want to talk in detail about this, you can invite them to Wednesday. I think it's going to be at 7:30. Hello, are y'all there? Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Sorry, my phone died. But on Wednesday, I'm going to be, on Wednesday, I think it's going to be around 7:15. I'll be doing an overview of the Movement Fund, and you can just invite, you know, your people there. But the goal is to make a contact with at least 15 people who you at least say the name Movement Fund, say the words Movement Fund, something that allows them to become aware of it. And our ultimate goal of getting at least one person, could be yourself, to donate $5 a month. And then we will see what happens on Wednesday. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Okay, I'm challenging y'all. I know it's a challenge, but of course the end goal of having hundreds of thousands of dollars accessible to our community without all of these hoops, without all of these barriers, it's worth it. And each of us can do a small part to make that a reality.
I agree.
Okay, that's all I have for y'all today. Anybody want to share a checkout? What are your thoughts with this? How are you feeling about this follow-up and follow-through work? Where are your heads at with this?
Well, I will say I love the whole concept, you know, the fact that it helps others. I mean, you're getting everybody involved. I don't know why you limit it to just 11 partners when, you know, any and everybody who use Marby, you know, should be able to bring in people just to support the cause.
Right.
You know, so I wouldn't just limit it to just 11 people. I mean, because small entrepreneurs like myself, when we are out, you know, or we're selling our products or whatever, you know, we can definitely put, you know, information out there for people who may want to help small businesses, or, you know, I wouldn't just limit it to just 11 people. And I would give everybody the opportunity to be able to make this residual income if it's something that they want to do.
You know, I really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you.
You know, we all could contribute in some type of way. I mean, just bringing awareness to the program, because a lot of people don't know. I mean, Marby is new. You guys have been around for a few years, but, you know, give your entrepreneurs who use your services a chance to spread the word. And I think this fund could be bigger than just 11 business partners coming in and just doing this. I think that a whole lot of people could get on this and really make this more than what you're thinking. I could see this being bigger than what you're saying right now, Eric.
Wow.
I really do.
Wow. You know, and I feel it in my spirit, and I know that you're right, Valencia. I do. I like to talk about the 11 partners just to break down the math, but you're absolutely right. And the way that you're thinking right now, I mean, you personally, you as an individual, know more than 11 people who could, more than 11 entrepreneurs who could take this and run with it. You know,
yeah.
So those numbers work out. It's mainly just so that we can have clear numbers to talk about. I could have went with 10, I could have went with 5. 11 just seemed right, but you're absolutely right. Like we can get 20, 30, 40, 100 over time. And each of them referring 15 new donors. Oh my goodness, it's just wild. But the possibility to support our community in unfathomable ways right now is endless. And of course, we're helping entrepreneurs generate income, especially the ones who are struggling right now because their customers, they either don't have access to their customers, or their customers aren't looking to, it's not their priority right now. So Movement Fund changes that. And if you're down, I'd love to partner with each and every one of you even the people that are hearing this after the fact, to make Movement Fund what it needs to be for our community, and to help it generate thousands of dollars in residual income for you.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree. Totally
Right.
agree.
Any questions about how to get started, the links and all of that stuff, or anything about Movement Fund?
So we just go on the link and just sign up,
Yeah.
and then we can spread the link to others?
Yeah, just like I did, you go to movementfund.com, you click join at the upper right, and you can hit the purple button on that page that says become a partner, and that will give you your link. And then you use your link and your email, and wherever. And if somebody starts to donate right away, you will start earning commissions right away. So it's a beautiful thing, but it is ready to go, and folks are already earning.
Okay.
Right on. Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time, and for sitting with me through this, and for being willing to, take a leap out on the Movement Fund. I know we're going to be successful. I'm so excited for what God has in store for us, and I'm just glad that we're along the journey together. Feel free to hit me up on Facebook or via email. However, I can help support you in making your 15 contacts for this week. And again, we're going to be going live on Wednesday to support, to do a presentation to all of the folks who are making referrals for the Movement Fund.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Eric, for all this great information you done put out here for us. I really appreciate it.
Wonderful. And I appreciate you, Valencia. You take care. Enjoy the rest of your day, this beautiful day. And
You too. All right. Thank you. You have a great day as well.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.